Philistines returned and again spread out across the valley of Rephaim, and again David asked the Lord what to do. Do not attack them straight on, the Lord replied. Instead, circle around behind and attack them near the poplar trees. When you hear the sound like marching feet in the tops of the poplar trees, be on the alert. That will be a signal that the Lord is moving ahead of you to strike down the Philistine armies. So David did what the Lord commanded. I'm going to read that again. So David did what the Lord commanded. And he struck down the Philistines all the way from Gibeon to Gaza. David inquired of the Lord. I think please don't quote me on this. I think I've done a little bit of research, and I think there were 9 occasions in the Bible where it's David inquired of the Lord. So we know that David tended sheep. We know that David played a harp, and all those type of things. But we know that David also was a warrior, and he went into battle. He went into battle against the Philistines many, many times. And the point that I'm trying to make here is the fact that he didn't do it in his own strength. He didn't do it to say, I'm really good at fighting. I'm really good at going into battles. On each occasion, before he went into battle, he inquired of the Lord. He said, God, can I go into battle? And if I can go into battle, how do I actually go about it? And as we've read those scriptures there, God gave him the instructions as to how to do that, and David was successful. So really for us, is that something for us? We can, I can get a bit dramatic and a bit passionate and a bit carried away when things are going on, and I have to be careful. So I have to say, no, actually, if you inquired of the Lord, is this really what God wants you to do, or is that what Phil would like to do? And maybe no one's in that situation type of thing, but it may be that you need to sort of say, really, God, is this what you want me to do? I think it's remarkably exciting in this time. I'm so delighted that God has allowed me to be a Christian in 2026 in the UK, really. I just think it's incredibly exciting. But there we are. Do we inquire of the Lord? And you know what? For those of you who know the story of David, that sadly, he kind of messed up. he kind of messed up, and there was a situation where David sent one of his friends, Uriah, into battle. He sent him into battle, and David didn't decide to go into battle. He stayed with Uriah's wife, and she became pregnant. David did that. And that's just an indication to you, because David had chosen not to inquire of the Lord, to follow God. And we have to be so careful. Guard our hearts. Make yourselves accountable. Really read your scriptures. Know that that is the case, because David was an incredible warrior, but even David slipped to temptation and slipped to problems. Now, just in case if you don't know the story, David repented and realised what he'd done was wrong. He repented and he got himself back on track with God. But how much more better if we don't actually go astray in the first place. So those are the stories, guys, of just like, do you have a vision? Do you inquire of God? And in what areas? It needs to be in all the areas, may I suggest, in your life. How's your marriage? How's the job? How are the kids? We've got kids. We've got 4 daughters. 2 of them have grown up and into the 20s, almost 30s, and we've got 2 teenage daughters. And it's just like, has anybody here got any teenagers or daughters? It's just like, parenting